Live from the WDBK studios in Blackwood, this is 91.5 WDBK-FM, Camden County College Radio.
The following program does not represent the views of 91.5 WDBK-FM or Camden County College. The Sports Council, a sports debate show from the WDBK Sports Department with the debate.
And welcome to 91.5 WDBK for the Sports Council here on this Friday afternoon. And you can always, of course, text into the show to join the conversation.
And 91.5 WDBK for the Sports Council. Friday afternoon, and you can always, of course, text into the show to join the conversation. Our, yes, I can still say, brand new text line 856-345-9325, and also translate to 856-345 WDBK. Again, you can text into the show to join the conversation as well. I mentioned your text. Make sure to leave your name next to it. That way we don't just give your phone number out in the air, as Corey said before. But yes, as I just said, Corey, yes, he's the only one that is with me today. So there's me and Corey here for this 1 o'clock Sports Council, right? And yeah, we got a lot to go off of. Of course, there was the game last night, but we have a lot of week one to talk about as well, since the only thing we talked about last week in the Sports Council was really the Eagles-Dallas game and what we expected coming into week one. But a lot going on. I mean, your Chargers were able to get the victory over the Chiefs, the team we see on Sunday. But I mean, I got to ask you, what's your feelings on that? I mean, Herbert came out, was just absolutely dominant. I have no other word to describe it. I mean, what a game!
I was excited all day, all night watching the game. I celebrated after they won. I posted a lot of things on my story. A lot of
we saw.
But during the game, it was like I knew we were going to win going in, but then after halftime, it was like, okay, we went 3 and out. We punted. They went down the field and scored. I was really paying attention to our next possession. Like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to fold, or are we going to? Is Justin Herbert in the offense going to answer? He answered. Like, he kept every punch the Chiefs threw, Justin Herbert always answered. And I'm happy we finished the game on offense, because against them, never finished the game on offense. It's always that last second hurrah by Patrick Mahomes. Like, here
we go. That expectation.
Two defenders trying to get their hands on it. He just flicked it.
I mean, that was what I mean. Really, when I was watching that game,
man is amazing.
It's basically that. Here we go. That expectation. So
then we just came back and scored.
Momentum is going to go.
I mean, that was what really when I was watching that game in general, I was when the Chargers had that 3 and out. I mean, that was something where I'm like, okay, please don't tell me the momentum is going to go with the Chiefs. And that was what I was extremely worried about. Was okay, they're going to capitalize on this, and they're just going to shut them down. But it didn't happen. The offense was able to respond, and that was something where in the past, especially with the Chargers, when they would get in a situation like that, they would kind of just go down. The ship would just continue to go. That didn't happen, period. And that's something that could set a great tone for the rest of the season. You start off beating a team that's so-called, quote, a dynasty. And if you want, some people like to call it that. I'm not one of them.
They are.
Okay. But you got the win against the dynasty then. And it was one heck of a game. Herbert, 142 QB rating. I mean, this is something where, of course, yes, he threw for 3 touchdowns, but
300 yards.
Yeah, over 300. I mean,
like 50.
He was using pretty much, he was going through the whole receiving core. He didn't have one specific guy. I mean, you had Keenan Allen, who was all over the place. You had Johnston. I mean, it was just all. I mean, there wasn't a single receiver that got over 100 yards, but there were, let's just say, a good portion of your receiving core got above 68. And this was something where, I mean, you were just using everyone you had. You were going everywhere. The Chiefs really, I mean, that secondary was kind of running around to the point where they were just like, I'm not quite sure they knew exactly what to cover anymore.
Wait, I promise you, last week, me and Jared talked about this. He said that teams can stick us man to man. I think we proved last Friday teams can't.
Otherwise,
do that. We had four receivers over 50 yards. Yes, last week.
Yep.
Quentin Johnston was torching the safety or whoever was sticking him in.
Yeah.
He had 2 touchdowns, 5 receptions, 79 yards. He really balled out when he showed the world I can catch this year, you know? And he can really catch. He's better than expected. I'll tell you that.
That was, I mean, sure dominance, and it was something where the pressure from the offense was definitely there. Everyone talks about the pressure from defenses a lot of times, but the offense was just straight up. You know, every time they came on the field, it was kind of a situation where maybe we can hold them to a field goal this time, guys. Like it was just one of those, and I mean, really, just something I always like saying, and I said it last year when the Eagles went up against the Chiefs, and it was usually keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands for as long as possible. The longer it's in his hands, and the Chiefs are known to do this. They've been known to do it for the past, I'd say, 3 or 4 seasons now, especially where when they have a drive, it's a time-consuming drive. I mean, people going to wonder why they would win games, but it would not be by a big margin. I mean, how many games last year did they win by? It was around like 3 points or so. They only won, I think. Yeah, there were only 2 dominant wins they had last year, I think, or maybe one. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back to last year's stats on them, but if I remember correctly, that's what it was. And I mean, that's why they would get wins like that. They would have time-consuming drives, wouldn't blow teams out, but they would always find a way to either end with the ball in their hands or would just completely shut the team down defense. Most of the time, it would be ending with Mahomes having the ball. So something the Chargers did great with, keeping it out of his hands. And I mean, it shows why they were able to get the victory. And now the Chiefs come to Arrowhead Stadium, their first 0-1 start since 2014 for Kansas City.
That's a long time.
It's been a while. It's been over a decade.
Long time.
So it's something that, you know, as a Chargers fan, I think you really first 0-1 since 2014.
We got to see him again in Arrowhead. Okay.
You better bet it's going to be, you know, it's going to be, or who knows, by the time you see him next, maybe they'll be completely, you know, almost buried. That'd be great.
I want to see him healthy. I know Rashard Rice will be in the lineup when we see him again. I want to see that.
Yeah.
And I know they're going to try to. Like I think Chris Jones is not going to rush inside. He's going to keep outside containment. He's going to try. Okay.
We're going to get it. We're going to get it. I mean, it's the simple terms. We're going to get it. But yes, the Broncos fan was here. We could talk about our picks, but he talked a lot about it, I think, on
too. It was just, I feel bad. I mean,
that's when I texted him, and literally what the text line I put in. I heard Bo Nix has got awful brought to you by a man named Bruce. He was excited too. It was just, I feel bad. I mean, I rewatched it. I sent it to him, and then I had to go through class. But I sent it to him. I'm like, oh, let me rewatch the stream when he came back from break, and he saw the text. He's like, oh, this is so exciting for me. It's my first one. And I'm like, first thing, you could see he was kind of angry when he first read it. Bo Nix is god awful. I'm like, uh-oh. And then he said, brought to you by a man. Oh, man. Yeah, so then he was kind of disappointed that his first text was a troll by myself. But it's okay. He got a text. So
handily. Then they had a rush.
Again, I understand.
Horrible.
That's why I would like to hear how bad that it actually was. But no, I mean, 20-12 against the Titans. Again, I understand. I know there's probably people listening to this. It's week 1. It's week 1. You have to well,
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, you know,
going in, especially
what the Broncos are. I don't know anything about my
division. Going into the season, and people have Denver at.
Yeah, they have them winning our division.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, you know, I'm acting like you're like, oh, I don't know anything about my own division.
They got them winning the division, the best they considered one of the best defenses in the league. Okay, you got the best defense in the league, but what is your offense doing for you? Like Bo Nix
scoring barely 20 points.
20 points.
Barely able to get there.
He turned the ball over 2 times. I don't know if he fumbled, but he had 2 interceptions, only 1 touchdown. He was sacked once. 25 for 40 for 176 yards. That's I don't know. That's acceptable right there. You come into the season, you're supposed to. He did have a fumble. I don't know if he lost the fumble, but he did have a fumble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah.
Did he lose it? It doesn't say.
Well, on top of his 2 interceptions, I mean,
it was something where
yeah, I remember because let me see.
In general, the accuracy.
And if that's the case, they have 4 turnovers. Yeah, Marvin Mims fumbled too.
Yeah, Marvin. Yeah.
Sheesh.
So it was something where ball security, And just in general, the accuracy was just not necessarily there. Again, I understand it's week one, blah, 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 blah. It is. It's the Titans. And next week, this coming up week, I should say, you're going up against an Indianapolis team that for some reason now all of a sudden blew their own fans away. Now, again, I don't know how long it's going to last necessarily because you went up against the Dolphins. So I don't want to make in no way do I want to be like they're a Super Bowl contender or make it sound like that's what I think. No, it was the Dolphins. You went up against the Tua. I'm not going to say any more about that.
Nah, that's Miami.
But no, for the Miami fans who they had their a little bit of light shined on them a couple years ago, and then ever since then it's kind of just caved in, and they've imploded
ever since Tua had the concussion.
Yeah,
like it's just been. I didn't even know Zach Wilson was in the game for Tua last week.
I'm not quite sure. Well, Zach Wilson, like that's going to. Oh, he did really.
It was 5'8".
Like that's going to solve your. Zach Wilson's going to definitely solve your problems. Yeah, that's.
That's something about the Giants right there. You leave the Giants and you actually get
22 for 29, 272 yards. Behind that great offensive line over that.
Yeah. Well, see, that's something about the Giants right there. When you leave the Giants and you actually get an offensive line, it shows. Danny Dimes, I understand he may not be the best quarterback in the world. I get that. But he has opportunities now. He also has guys he can throw the ball to. He has options. He has certain weapons. I don't want to say that they're not the best weapons in the league, but he has. I mean, he's got receivers now, and this is something we saw even with Barkley. Why did Barkley get injured so much? And Eagles fans and myself were worried about it when he came here. He's injury prone. Well, I wonder why. He didn't have any blockers. He was getting crushed on every play. That was the Giants' only look. So. I mean, it just shows an offensive line. You have two positions, running back and QB, that kind of need that. And right here, I mean, yes, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback, but now that's the thing. Could this be the season where he says, you know what, I'm going to push my, I'm going to show what I got here, and maybe I can enter into the top 10. I mean, you never know. He has opportunities now. He's got a chance, and he has an opportunity to not get crushed every play. That would be nice as well.
Yeah, and plus with the running back, Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, you don't have to pass every time. Like what they threw the ball 29 times and they ran it 40. 40 times.
I should have been prepared for that. I don't know why I'm just sitting here like,
he just being done and just went in.
All right.
I should have been prepared for that. I don't know why I'm just sitting here like kind of. Like, all right. I can't even speak English. All right. So yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting. Yeah, but the Broncos for their future, they're going up against Indianapolis this week. It's gonna be an interesting test. I mean, 20-12, you barely beat the Titans again on your defense. Yeah, kind of won you that one. But it's gonna be interesting to see how these two pair up again. A Broncos team that's expected, like, very well, and like I've seen, expected to win the division. So we'll see exactly how that turns out.
Play them next week. I think they'll win this week.
It's not just that you two play each other, but we play, and we also
play. That's the sports council that, let's just say, you're all going to have to save and be ready to go on YouTube for it. That's for sure. It's going to be quite interesting. And it's not just that you two play each other, but we play, and we also play Denver this year. So this sports council this year is going to be. It's going to be pretty interesting. And if Adele was here, that would be interesting as well. He likes the Packers, which we also play. So this is like a 91.5, showdown this year with the teams that are in the station. But yeah, so again, a lot happened week one. Those were some of the big time ones, of course, we talked about. We had a little bit of talking about, of course, with the Bills and Ravens during the week. But this is a game that I definitely have to talk about. I mean, not just the Bills and the Ravens, but the Vikings and Bears. We had back-to-back strange, interesting, and absolutely fun games. I mean, from Sunday Night Football to Monday Night Football. But starting off with Sunday Night Football, the Bills and the Ravens. I predicted the Bills to win, but it wasn't in that fashion. If you remember my prediction, I said it would be in the 20s, and I thought the Bills would lead the majority of the game, and then it would get tight at the ends. Well, it was the opposite. Ravens led for the majority of the game, and the Bills scored, if I'm not wrong, 16 points. With under 11 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Again, I'm pretty sure that's what the stat was, if I remember correctly. But wow. And they made the field goal. It wasn't wide right. I thought that was what I took my mind.
Okay, so it was under. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, under the 11-minute
Just
mark.
alone. They
That
put
was-
up what? 6, 12, 18, 21 points in the fourth quarter.
21 point. Okay, so it was under. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, under the 11-minute mark was when they. Okay, that must have been when I was-
26.
16. Okay, so it was 16.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
But yeah, just
And this is why I don't recommend.
Lamar Jackson, I'll give him a
That's
correct.
why I'm here. But yeah, I mean, it's still
16.
16. Okay, so it was 16. Yeah, 16. But yeah, it just crazy. I mean, this was something where Lamar Jackson. I'll give him a credit. He was using his legs.
No.
I have to. He was using his legs. He was using. Why?
No. Listen, right? We said that Jalen Hurts couldn't be in the top 10 quarterback discussion, right? But we all had Lamar in that top 4. I seen Jalen Hurts when he needed that third down. He got the first. When he needed the first down at the end of the game last week, Thursday Night Football, he used his legs and got the first down, right?
Yes.
It's third and that last drive. I'll just take you back to the last drive that the Ravens had the ball.
Yeah.
My defense is giving up. They just gave before the last field goal. They gave up 13 points in the fourth quarter. It was back to back to back, right?
Right.
So boom, you start off the drive. You hand it off to Derrick Henry. He rushes for 3 yards. All right, 2nd and 7. They call it timeout. The very next play, you do a handoff to Zay Flowers. He goes probably gets 2 to 3 yards. So now it's 3rd and 4. If you're an MVP and you the guy, right? Why not keep the ball in your hands or have that play caller call a play for you to go win the game? Because it looked like y'all the game last week that it was a pass play, but it was designed for Jalen Hurts to run.
Yeah.
But he stopped out tight end and he stopped right in front of the linebacker at the decoy for a block. Lamar Jackson is a better scrambler than he's probably the best scrambler in the league.
Without a doubt.
Yo, go get a first down. Yo, be a game changer. He was in the game changer that last drive, and I think me personally, they should have went for it on that 4th down because your defense isn't stopping nothing. They couldn't stop me.
That was surprising.
You're going up against the guy. Here's where I stand with Lamar Jackson. I mean,
week 1,
you got cheated out of MVP.
Let me go get.
When you're going up against the guy who took it from you, so yeah, it's. I mean, here's where I stand with Lamar Jackson. I mean, if you want to take away, you want to take away that final drive of the game. I think he played extremely well. There were times where he was. Because even in the fourth quarter, there were times where he was stuck way in the backfield, was able to maneuver his way out and at least get a game. It's something where, I mean, from what I saw, especially from that Baltimore offensive line, it was just starting to get worse and worse and worse as the night went on, and especially you want to talk about that fourth quarter. Were they holding the house down? Well, there was nothing to hold down anymore. The foundation already came out from underneath of it. So it was, they were just, I mean, I'm not just going to say, Lamar Jackson, there were some times where could he have gotten the first down and took it on his own, legs to get it? Yes, absolutely. But the whole team in general, again, I want to talk about that offensive line. It just seemed like they collapsed, and it was getting to something where we've seen it. Baltimore in the past, usually you see it more in the playoffs where they just absolutely kind of get destroyed. They destroy themselves. They shoot themselves in the foot. And no, it's usually, again, yes, it's them that do it to themselves. And I feel like that's exactly what we saw that Sunday night. It was just something where they had it, and next thing you know, everything collapses around them. The defense starts to collapse. The line can't get pressure. I mean, it was just, they had Josh Allen how many times right where they wanted him, and they couldn't get it done. And the fourth quarter came around, and it just started to get more lenient. And I mean, Josh Allen again showing he can come back, even though most of the fan base left the stadium where it was,
being realistic. Why not leave? Okay, my team can't.
Well, they think they're cursed. Bills fans still think they're cursed, and I
not after that. Ravens scored a touchdown. They missed the extra point.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Derrick Henry fumbles. It all worked out for him.
Right.
People don't even remember that they missed the extra point. They just blame Derrick Henry for fumbling. Did you watch the game?
Mm-hmm.
But coaching has to be held accountable to in this game. That's right here.
And I can say over
like you said, you surprised every other time Harbaugh will go for it in that type of situation. You had one of the best QBs with mobility in the league, and I can say over Jalen Hurts 100% by far. Lamar Jackson has the quicker, speediest, just in general with his running, his ability to find the right gaps is just a heck of a lot better when he reads the field. And
at that point in the game,
I don't know. In that situation, did he feel something was off? His team was going to get to the point where we're going to Buffalo up in a perfect position. I mean, at that point, what do you have? At that point in the game, it was like you have to. We give Bills good field. That doesn't matter. You have to. You're for you.
In the game on offense. In the game on offense. What's the best play in football?
Best play.
Well, that's usually your victory formation. Yes. No,
you know your team won after that. Like, that's the best play in football. At least the commentators say that.
Break here.
Well, if you want to call it that, yeah. Well, that's usually your victory formation. In that situation, I don't know. But of course, we'll go to a quick little break here on 91.5 WDBK. When we come back, that's not it. We had another interesting comeback between, let's just say, a team that's called the Bears and a Minnesota team that has a QB that was a Bears fan growing up. We'll have all of that coming up next here on the Sports Council, 91.5 WDBK.
Are you aware that Camden County College has an optical clinic located in the Gabriel E. Danch Sim Center, room 119? It is open to faculty, staff, students, and alumni. You can visit the clinic for your prescription eyewear need. They're open Tuesdays from 1 to 4 p.m., Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to noon, and 3:30 to 6:30 p.m., as well as Fridays from 9 a.m. to noon, all until May 1st. The number to call is 856-374-4977. That's 856-374-4977. Visit the optical clinic today.
If you're interested in going to Rowan University, Camden County College has Rowan University Advisement Days. You can meet with Rowan's coordinator of University Transfer Services to learn more about the transfer application process, scholarships, and student life at Rowan. She is happy to meet with students on a walk-in basis. You can meet with her at the Taft Hall on the 3rd floor in the Advisement Center. Her office hours are 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Once again, you can meet with her at the Taft Hall on the 3rd floor in the Advisement Center. Her office hours are 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
And welcome back to 91.5 WDBK for the Sports Council. Yeah, we already have a lot to talk about, right? We just did a whole first segment on interesting football appearances, right? And, of course, we had some people text in. Well, I mean some people, some specific Broncos fan who didn't necessarily, I don't know if he was getting along what we were saying about Bo Nix. Some Denver Broncos fan who's usually on this panel, but he claims he's working today. I don't know. But, yes, we still have, of course, I need to talk about it. We need to talk about the Vikings-Bears game. Like I said, Sunday Night Football was great. That was an incredible comeback. But then we had another one on Monday, Vikings and the Bears. Now, this was something where, I mean, if I've seen a Bears game before, this was a perfect description of the franchise that they have been for before I've been born. I mean, this has been, you look over the top, of course, we'll start with J.J. McCarthy, right, for Minnesota, the former Bears fan who, again, for the majority of the game, especially the first half, it didn't look like there was much going on. Minnesota was trying to get, I mean, it was just a matter of getting on the same dang page. I mean, that was it. And I'm not saying, I mean, he had an interception, like, you know, in general, the offense was not going. There was no rhythm. The short pass game, I mean, it was kind of there, but every time they'd try to get something going, it would just be ended. In Chicago, I mean, that place was jumping around. Soldier Field was going nuts for the first time in, it feels like, you know, centuries. And And then next thing you know, here comes Caleb Williams. But no, I don't want to ditch on him too much, as Bears fans have been completely going after him after that game period. The whole week. Well, he's not our guy. He's not our guy. Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
They blamed him for that loss?
Yeah, a lot of Chicago fans have. I went into the comments, especially because I was just interested to see what Bears fans, mental health was at this point. And it was, Caleb Williams is not our guy. He's not it. I'm like, you guys, all right, guys.
They loved him in the first quarter. I bet they loved him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I say? They loved him in the first half.
Yeah.
Probably the first 3 quarters, because it all went downhill in the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, yeah. And this is, again, where have we seen this from the Bears before? This is basically, what it looks like for the entire game, especially. You look at the fourth quarter, and it's literally, like, for the first half of the game, it's all Bears. Like, you just see it, like when you go online to the box or play-by-play that they have written in, it's literally all Bears, and then all of a sudden there's just a chunk in the fourth quarter that just has the Vikings logo console.
Right? Yeah.
It's just Vikings logo, and then it's the Bears. They try to get rocking and rolling again, and it never came back. The Vikings completely were able to shut them down, and this was something where, over and over again, have Bears fans lived this? Yeah, they kind of did. Now, yeah, they finished it off. They were able to get a touchdown. They made it 27-24. But, by that time, you ran yourself out of time. You scored a touchdown with 51 seconds left. Some people called it a garbage time touchdown. Some people are like, they may have had a chance. I don't, in this situation, you killed yourself. 3 touchdowns by the Vikings in the fourth quarter. That's insane. They were really able to get going. You look at the third quarter, it was all Bears, literally. Bears were the only ones that scored anything in the third quarter. Second quarter was just field goal nation.
The Bears also missed the field goal in the second quarter, and they also went for it on 4th and 3 when they were at Minnesota's 24.
Yeah.
That's 6 points you just left on the table in the first half.
Yep.
And they only lost by 3.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So it's that situation where you always have to think, would that have completely changed their outcome? Or would we, I should say this, would we
miss the field goal in the fourth quarter? My bad.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. They did. Because when I saw that, I was thinking Cody Parkey all over again, except there was no doink. But no, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so they did miss a field goal in the fourth quarter. So this is something where, with the amount of points, you left over 10 points, or I shouldn't say over 10 points now. You left over 6 points on the field, and you lost again. It's 27-24. So, when you're going into this loss, of course, you have to just ask a ton of questions. And this is something where, okay, it was a winnable game, but we just completely gave it up at the end. There's no other way to put it. And you had a rookie quarterback that really found his groove. You allowed him to find his groove, I should say. He found it, and so did the Vikings offense. They were gritty in general, but you pretty much gave it to him, and you gave him the opportunity to basically say, you know what? Here you go. Yeah, because have your shine.
He looked awful up into that fourth quarter. And yesterday, I was just listening to the sound bites that him and JJ McCarthy and Jay Jettis was having on the sideline. McCarthy said, "Yo, don't give up on me." Jettis said, "Never. I would never give up on you." Then that very next possession, Jettis scored the touchdown. Started off it was just like that too. And the defense, they got to think their defense. The defense kept them in the game the whole time. They was never out of it or anything like that.
Well, that's the thing, is it was close for a while, and it was really interesting, and it was so funny. Bears fans had so much confidence in their team. They were so happy, and then next thing you know, they should know their franchise better because it was taken away in a matter of moment. The time of possession, Bears had the majority of the possession in that game. They had 32.88 on the clock for their possession. They had more first downs. They had more total yards. They had more passing yards, but still they come up short. And, in general, they had more penalties as well. And this was something where, as the game was going on, you started to see them kind of wind down. It was kind of like, I'm looking for the word to describe it, but it's one of those situations where it was kind of the discipline was also starting to disappear. So not only was their momentum going away and they were giving it to Minnesota, but the overall discipline on that field was starting to slowly but surely kind of fade away, and that's what we ended up seeing. So
It reminded that game right there reminded me of when the game against the Packers and the Bears, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in like the first half.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
comes back and just torches them.
Mm-hmm. I'm still on you. I'm still on you. No,
2022 that game was.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah. After all that's what it was. After all these years, I still own you. So yeah, that situations like that, of course.
Trash.
Yeah, Bears showing up their true colors. Of course, we had other games, right? The Steelers and the Jets, which was actually surprisingly
good,
a really good game. The Jets scored 19 points overall in the first half. When was the last time that you've seen a Jets team in these past 10 years actually score 19 points? I know 19 points to some teams, it's not that much, right? Yeah, no, it is. And in football terms, especially, it is 19 within the first half. Now, of course, New York they lost
against that defense, though.
Yeah,
against that. You saw what Justin Fields said after the game?
Mm-hmm.
That y'all bringing all these Hall of Famers and we still put up 32 points. Our offense
Pittsburgh's defense is Pittsburgh's defense is rated probably one of the best in that division, and this is something where, I mean, again, they were able. I mean, the Jets right now, and I was talking to some Jets fans this week, and I'm like, overall, I think I know how you feel, but how do you really feel? And they're like, you know what? We lost the game. I get it. We led the game. We kind of gave up. We gave up the lead. We choked. But, overall, we are happy with what we've seen. And this is the first time that we've actually had trust in a quarterback in years. They never had trust in Aaron Rodgers. No, I mean, if someone says they did, they're a liar, is what this guy basically told me. But
he was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt. And then even when he came back, it was just like there was nothing there. There was no oomph for anything there. But Justin Fields, again, a product that Chicago thought that they could develop, right? Ended up doing
good, though. He definitely looked good on Sunday.
He did them 16-22. He had only one passing touchdown, of course, but he was able to
running touchdowns, though.
Exactly. He was able to use his legs quite a lot as well. And there were plenty of times where that Steelers pass rush, they looked like they had him, but he was able to somehow, some way finagle his way out of it. I mean, this is something where, again, the Jets fans I've talked to this week, this is the first time in years they've actually had confidence in a guy that has been brought in here. They have confidence on what the coaching staff is going to do with him. And, they looking forward, they're extremely happy. Now, I understand next week or this coming week, it's going to be a little tough. You're back at MetLife again, but you're going up against the Buffalo Bills, who came off they're hot coming off of their week 1 win. So it's going to be a test. And can you take it to another, I should say, I'm not going to put Rodgers at top quarterback right now, obviously, but can you take it to a Buffalo team that's coming in hot and has shown that they can do whatever it takes to win a game? I think the Jets are going to give them a good fight for their,
Look, after what their defense just showed, they just gave up 40 points. And the Bills will be without defensive tackle Ed Oliver this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be another high-scoring game, 38-35, 40-41.
Yeah. You know what? It very much could be. In the beginning of the season, I would have predicted this probably to be, I would have had the Bills winning substantially. But after what I saw from week 1, and I get it, folks, it's week 1. You don't make, full predictions for a season yet after what, you usually see in week 1. But, I mean, from what the Jets showed against a top Steelers defense, and again, like you said, all these Hall of Famers came in and he said, we still put up, 32 points on you. I'm really excited to see it's probably going to be my top game at 1:00 that I'm going to tune into. I know there's a lot of good games we got on 1:00 this week, but that one's going to be interesting just so I can see if Jets fans will be depressed for the rest of this year or if they'll still have something to be happy about. So that's going to be interesting to see. But, I like it. I like it. But, of course, the other New York team, the Giants, got their rear end kind of handed to them with their star Russell Wilson. No, well, that was an interesting thing. Of course, only 2 field goals, couldn't even get a touchdown on the board. Russell Wilson, every time he came in, looked like he just discovered the sport he was playing for the first time. 37 attempts. He only had 17 completed out of those attempts and only for 168 yards. His QB rating, yes, 61.
Yeah.
So
bring in the rookie. What? Well,
that's what I was thinking at that point. At that stage, that's what I was looking for. You're down by this much. Of course, a lot of people were thinking that the Commanders were going to beat him by a lot more. A lot of people were surprised that they didn't get more points. If I saw 21, I'm like, this is a situation where, come on, guys, this is
the Giants' defense is actually good on paper.
Yeah,
like if they go out there and actually execute and they're in the right position, they'll actually make some plays. They'll be good. It's just that offensive line, the running back situation, and the quarterback situation. I'll just say throw the rookie out there in the fire. You have nothing to lose this season.
Well, I think when they interviewed, because of course after the game, Brian DeBoer, head coach of the Giants, was interviewed about questioning if Russell Wilson will continue to be the starter. If they still have confidence in him, and it looks like they still do. It looks like they're going to try to keep him out there again. That's a question. He didn't necessarily. So it was one of those things where he didn't give you a strong answer. It was like, well, it was kind of like that. You may see him again, you may not. It wasn't like a confident, like, we still know that. I mean, it was a shaky game, but it was not a confident answer. So we are still up in question about that. I have no confirmation or anything on that situation.
Listen, maybe they have a plan. They don't want to share it with the world. Who knows? Like, let him sit his whole rookie year. Because, again, Tom Brady talked about this last year. Just throwing rookies into the fire. That's not really good for them. Let them sit behind somebody, develop, get better at practices, stack days. So he could not play at all this season, or he could come in late this season, like when they're eliminated from the playoff, just so he can have get his feet wet in the league at least.
When the games are not as, I guess you could say, the games are not as highly. You don't feel the pressure as much. I mean,
so week 10 to 12, you might see him, unless Russell Wilson gets hurt, then Jameis gets hurt, then he's the next man up in a case like that. But if Russ keep playing like this, he'll be meant to.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this is something, and I know Jared, if he was here, he could tell us this very well about his feelings on Russell Wilson. But overall, I mean, you look at him overall in terms of how he is able to complete passes on the fly, being back to just step up in the pocket anymore. I mean, the amount of times he was overthrowing his receivers, the amount of times it was kind of like the ball was definitely an area to be picked off. There were chances last week where, I mean, that Commanders secondary, they had some chances to pick that ball off, and I'm actually kind of surprised it wasn't, because the throws from Wilson are kind of like these little, I mean, they're not darts. They're not something where it's like right on target where the receiver runs into the throw. I mean, it's just something where they're kind of just, here it is. It's just out there, and you have to try to catch it, please, and hopefully it's not a suicide pass. So it's just, I mean, overall, I mean, it's got to be his last season, in my opinion. It has to be after what we've seen like this. And if it continues, again, it's week 1. So I'm trying to be as understanding as possible. But I mean, at this situation and seeing how Wilson has played for his past, especially I'd say 4 or 5 years at this point, there's not really much I can do to really say, all right, I'm going to step back and try to be as much understanding as possible. I mean, it seems like a constant rotation where it's just getting worse and worse and worse. You look at last year with the Steelers. What happened? Fields was there. Wilson was hurt at the beginning of the season. The Steelers played incredible to start that season off. Then Wilson was, he was back again. They put Fields on the bench. Wilson came in, and the mediocrity just continued. It was just like, when I was looking at the Steelers, I'm like, why? Come on, man. I'm like, you saw what was going on with your offense in the beginning of the season. Why did you take him out? I get Wilson was the guy that you brought in here. He was a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
He was.
Surely,
in it too,
Surely this will help us out. No, he came in and they went down, and of course the Steelers finished with a 9-8 season.
They said they made the switch because they wanted to move the ball down the field.
It moved. More. It moved all right.
Listen, Russ is a good quarterback, but he should probably retire, hang it up. He'll probably retire after this year. Go live your life. Go be with your wife.
Yeah.
Go be with Sierra.
Uh-oh. We got some cat calls going all around here. We got some cat calls going all around here. But the situation it is in currently right now, I mean, it's got to be your last year at this point. And if you don't have a good showing, say you do start coming up here in week 2, because I'm pretty sure it has not been finalized just yet. Here we are on Friday, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not been finalized. I haven't seen anything about it. If it is, please let me know. Again, you can text in to the station at 856-345-9325 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Also translate to 856-345-WDBK. So you can always text into the station. Again, be a part of the conversation, especially as we're talking about bad quarterbacks, good quarterbacks. bad team, first week 1 appearances, good week 1 appearances. But yeah, lots to cover here. But again, that situation is kind of you throw it up in the air and you see exactly what happens coming up. But we got an interesting week 2 coming up, as of course it started last night. And this will be the last we'll talk about before we'll go into our next break. But the Commanders and the Packers, of course. And I was very happy to see Washington get an L on the board. But we were talking about it before we went on air, especially how that Packers defense was. I know, Corey, you saw just the rushing in general, their ability to hold Jalen Daniels at bay. I mean, your thoughts of what you saw last night.
That Packers defense last night, even without Michael Parsons on the field, they still got pressure. They didn't allow Jaden Daniels to really dance around in the pocket. They ended up with 4 sacks. And Jaden Daniels, normally he rushes for like 50 to 60 yards. He had 7 attempts for 17 yards last night. His longest rush was 8 yards. And the way the corners were playing the wide receivers last night, I seen them like, They pressed in a way. They didn't really press, but they just sat on routes. Like they believed in their defensive line so much. They sat on routes. And Nixon, they kept trying to target Nixon, the Packers cornerback. I don't know his first name, but last name Nixon. And he was just like deflecting balls, knocking them over. The receivers couldn't bring the balls in. I'm just like, the Packers defense looks good. They're right now. Like if it keeps up, they're my pick to win the NFC. Not to go to the Super Bowl, but just to be the number 1 seed this year.
Okay.
If it all works out, because they got the running game, they're trusting Jordan Love to actually throw the ball down the field this year.
Keyshawn Nixon.
Yeah, Keyshawn Nixon, that corner. Yes, thank you. Their offense looks good. Defense looks phenomenal. Probably could finish the best defense in the league if all went healthy. And Michael Parsons doesn't even play every snap, but he creates so much havoc.
You saw the chant after the game when the post-game show?
No, I turned it off.
No,
I turned the game off.
It was the Cheeseheads were down by the post-game show, of course, with the Thursday Night Football crew, and they were basically chanting, "Thank you, Jerry." And no, not basically. They were chanting that. It was a chant of "Thank you, Jerry." And not only was it a chant of "Thank you, Jerry," but Michael Parsons is over here doing this to the chant. Like he's actually like grooving to the chant.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
he was. He's sitting there. It was like, "Thank you, Jerry," and he's over here. He's bopping around. If you're watching the stream, you can see me bopping around, right? But no,
I would too. Like, listen, you just traded me from a team that's not going to win to a team that could win. Thank you, Jerry.
No, it was they. I mean, well, the Packers have been helped out by Dallas in the past by a few things, and they've had Dallas' number. And it's still funny on that whole trade thing that the Eagles offered more for him, but they turned him down.
Do you know anything about what y'all offered? Because I've been looking at that, but I didn't really.
Well, that's it. It was like what I've seen, the reports I've seen. It's just that we've offered more. I didn't see a specific number necessarily out, but they did offer more, and it was something where Jerry Jones, especially in the future, he's not going to want to obviously give it to his rival that could bite him in the rear end for 2 times every single season for the rest of the future.
Wouldn't be smart. But I just want to know what y'all offered. Like y'all had the gumption to call anyways and just ask. Worst thing people can say is no. Always ask question, guys. The worst thing somebody can tell you is no. And it's okay. Just a no.
So because I know, so they offered what I do know is that they offered 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. So that's all that they really released. They didn't release a price. They just said it was more, but they released the picks that they were going to offer with the 2 first, 3rd round, 5th. So that's what they were hoping was going to entice Jerry Jones to screw his franchise up even more than it already is. Now
it's going to be interesting. Oof.
Yep.
They should move that to the night game. If they can, they should move.
Well, they can. I think they've done it in the past before where they've moved games. They said, okay, you know what, we're taking this one out of a slot, we're moving it up. Usually later in the season they do that because they realize that they screwed up on the pick
because of like the seedings. Like say if some team, both of these teams need to win to make the playoffs. Okay, we'll make that the night game.
Yeah.
Things like that.
They've done it before. Like usually they'll announce it like on a Tuesday during the week, and they'll say, you know what, we'll change it. But it's going to be interesting. And of course, with this week 2 coming up, there will be the return of the double headers on Monday Night Football, which surely because you're going up against another rival, the Vegas Raiders, of course. And it will probably be somewhat of a home game for you because every time the Raiders have a home game, it's not really a home game for them because they don't have a real fan base. And I'll continue to say that until someone proves me wrong. Guess what? You probably can't.
I'm just mad the game's at 10. I have class at 8, but best believe I'm staying up.
10 o'clock. Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
Because before they used to have double headers, like literally they would be on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So they would start at similar times. I think it used to be 8:20 was the first one, or no. Was it always? It was 7 and then 8:20. Now it's 10 o'clock, which I mean they're doing it because of the West Coast, which I guess I can understand, but still.
Get to watch both games at least, unless the Texans Bucks goes to overtime.
Yeah. So I guess that's something I could side with, but still 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
that's going to be rough.
I heard about that's not even compared to what the NBA is doing. The West Coast games are now starting at 10:30 p.m.
Really?
Yes. Or maybe 11. A 10:30 or 11. It's starting later.
I know the NHL's doing that too.
And I don't know why.
Yeah. Because I know every time the Sixers go out there, I know it's like it's a West Coast trip. So they're out there for usually the week. And it's something where, I know some fans of mine just like, yeah, I'm not watching them this week. Can you keep me updated what's going on? And I'm just like, I just can't stay up because there's people that have these I have friends that are like, I got to wake up at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. So yeah, I get you're catering for the West Coast and that type of situation, but people have jobs over here. And it's like, come on, we got stuff to do early the next morning. Come on, NFL. You want to enhance your viewership, kind of make the times better. Jeez. But okay, that's kind of where we stand right now. We're going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, we may have some talk on baseball. And we also may be joined by a guy that has a lot of energy. I'll just put it like that. And if you don't know who that is, well, you'll just have to wait around and find out. Of course, this is Vincent Foch and Corey Avery, 91.5 WDBK for the Sports Council. We'll be right back.
If you are looking to get more involved on Camden County College's campus, there is a way to do that. You can call 856-227-7200, extension 4374, or go to camdencc.edu/student life and clubs and organizations for more information. That is to get involved on campus with student life and activities.
Join the Faith in Action Christian Club for Bible-based fellowship with friends. This is hosted on Wednesdays at 12:30 in Community Room 202. Once again, that's Wednesdays at 12:30 in the Community Room 202.
Welcome back to 91.5 WDBK for the Sports Council. We got a lot to talk about, right? We just did a whole 2 segments on football that was going on, yes, for week 1. I can't believe week 1's over. We were so excited that it's finally arrived, and now before you know it, it's gone. Week 2 has already started with last night of the Commanders getting a great loss. But, of course, we already spoke enough on football, right? We're going to move on to baseballs. Of course, postseason is right around the corner. Of course, with the local team, the Phillies, right, they have magic number now of 5 being able to sweep the Mets, a reverse sweep from what happened in Citi Field. Of course, every time the Phils kind of go to Citi Field, what tends to happen? Well, I swear there's like some type of there's got to be an implant in their heads that just absolutely changes them into, probably middle school baseball players every time they go to the Citi Field. But whatever it is, we'll just be glad that they were able to get the sweep. Now, of course, I don't want to just talk about the Phils. We want to go through the MLB in general. Of course, we have a Dodgers fan in here as well, right? So, I mean, we gotta, I guess.
Like, I've been paying more attention to baseball this year. I'll just say that. Okay. So, how do you feel about your team going into the postseason?
On a 4-game win streak, I'll take it. I haven't watched them in like a week since football started, though. But
well, we also have. I told you that we'd have a special guest joining us for the final segment over here. But he is a loyal fan of a team, right?
Unlike very loyal.
Listen, I don't watch baseball. I'm a football and basketball guy.
We helped you out and made you a baseball guy a little bit.
There we go. It's our radio station coordinator, Nick Archall, of course, joining us here.
Coming up too.
Yes,
They do.
Yes, you do.
They do. The
Coming
Phillies'
up.
magic number is 5 at the moment, which is a nice thing. It's the number of Bryson Stott, too. The Phillies put out a little post last night regarding that. So nice little sweep, as you mentioned there, Vincent, of the New York Mets. The Phillies have turned around. I believe they're 2 games back of the best record of the Brewers. So that's nice to see as well. I'm glad we're actually talking baseball on this station for once. You know, gosh, a lot of football. We already know Bo Nix is an awful quarterback who hurt my fantasy team. But we're talking about a real sport today.
Whoa. Look, the hardest thing in sports might be to hit a baseball, but it's not the best sport in the world. Let's just
No,
say
it's
that.
the best.
No,
It is
it's
the
not.
best.
No, it's not.
That one.
It's the best.
I think
I'm just
soccer-
kidding. I love football. But
I know America came up with the sport, but I mean, then another sport took over.
he came up with football too.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said another sport took over. The
They came up
position.
with that too.
Yeah.
No, the Phillies are playing really good baseball as of late. Last night was a win that showed stones. You're down 4-0. You come up, you make a comeback, you win the ball game. Joan Duran shut down 9th inning. I mean, that showed confidence, more confidence I have in this team after last night than I've had in a while. Like, this is a team that might have it. And with all the injuries that they've had to endure, Zach Wheeler, Alec Boehm, Trey Turner, you sign Walker Buehler, who I believe is going tonight against the Royals. This Phillies just are not, they can't be stopped at the moment, right? Like that, but that's what you want heading into the postseason. Yeah. Still a lot of baseball left. Still got to clinch the division, but you don't want to have to play that wild card round. The Phillies are in that spot right now.
Right. And this is something, I mean, again, Kansas City Royals, it's going to be a big week against Kansas City sports teams for Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's going to be interesting. And something that I was mentioning yesterday, to a couple friends of mine, I was saying, my biggest worry right now with the Phils, and I've seen it before, and I hope it's not a repeat, is they do this where, you start off September, you get hot, and then as September goes on, as they get close to the postseason, it kind of falls apart the worst time. Now, 2022, it was the opposite. They started to really get their oomph and everything going into the postseason. Yep. You swept out, of course, St. Louis at that time, which was thought to be going pretty far. They had Goldschmidt. I mean, they were looking good that year. And they got hot at the right time. I'm still worried about this team falling off because I've seen it happen so many times this year, and it's still in the back of my head where
I think it's in every Phillies fan's head.
Oh, I know. It's still got me, man. It really does.
I mean, listen, that's the nature of the beast, right? The Phillies are a very boomer bust team. They've been playing consistent baseball as of late. Listen, you don't have Trey Turner, you don't have Alec Boehm. Zach Wheeler is out. I mean, those are big, gigantic losses, and other guys have stepped up. The Amundo Sosas of the world, the Brandon Marshes of the world have played really well. Well, Harrison Bader. I mean, Bader, see you later. That guy is ridiculous. What a ball player he is. I mean, jeez, he's mashing the baseball. He plays a lockdown center field, covers so much ground out there. I love the crab walk that he does out there all the time. It's fantastic. He was talking about it on Sunday Night Baseball a couple of weeks ago. But man, he has been more than what I think the Phillies expected at the trade deadline when they traded for him. He has just come in and found a place where he can just elevate his game, and that's what he's done. And he's earned a right to be in center field every single night out. Every single night. It shouldn't be anybody else but him. Now, on the other side of things, now right field's a little bit more of an issue. Now, Nick Castellanos has played well lately. I mean, he's been hitting the baseball lately. So I will give him credit as you cross your fingers. You're watching on the YouTube live stream. Hopefully he can continue to hit the baseball, but he's been much better as of late. But it's still a platoon out there. It's still, you got to keep it a platoon with Kepler and Castellanos out and right. It just is what it is at this point because Castellanos has struggled mightily. He's not a good defender either. Mm-hmm. And I think the writing's on the wall after the season, no matter what happens with Castellanos. But he's been hitting the baseball. In the Mets series, he hit the baseball. So he came up with some big hits at big times. And that's what you need. And the Phillies haven't had that in certain situations, right? Like they have not come up with the big hit when they needed to in the postseason, right? To win ball games. Like that's what needs to happen. They've been doing that lately. So hopefully it carries over in October.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the thing with them is you need a guy that can put the ball in play that's not going to go up there and try to have or not going to go up to the dish and basically have bad batting discipline where you're trying to beat the ball to the point where you're trying to knock it out of the park to the point where it's almost on 76 at Citizens Bank Park. I mean, this is something where, they brought in guys like Kepler this year, and that was, I think, the guy that they expected to be possibly what Harrison Bader is doing, the guy that can put the ball in play. He's not known as a real heavy hitter, but a guy that they were hoping that could possibly put the ball in play. But now you have a guy like Bader. They were able to, for once, get something at the trade deadline that they can really say, hey, it helped boost us. You also have guys like Otto Kemp, who is really putting the ball in play as well, getting up there, being, I should definitely say, and I think I can say this by now, being consistent. The guy's been really not just putting the bat on the ball, but he's been being much more of a heavy hitter at this time right now as well. He did have a home run last night, and this is something where you're seeing contributions from all around the lineup. It's not just that these top guys, I'm sure, are being able to get a bomb every single night. You're not constantly relying on Harper, and then by the time those two guys are out, it's just, all right, let's get ready to have 5 strikeouts right afterwards,
And what a difference, to say the least, it's been after that Mets series in Citi Field in New York. Just totally different. The Mets might miss the playoffs. There's a possibility that could happen. The Reds are making a strong push. Rangers in the AL, they're all of a sudden in the race in the AL. And I believe the Mets are playing the Rangers. So
yeah, I think so.
This is gonna be fun. God, there's nothing better than fall sports. I mean, nothing. Playoff baseball, football's starting, basketball's starting, hockey's back. Like, October's like the best month of the calendar.
They all mix every single sport.
Mix, yep. It's fantastic. There's nothing better than the sports calendar than October. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, you already know.
Corey, thoughts?
Listen, basketball comes back, but I'll still be in football mood. I'm in football mode. It is football season for me.
I agree, but you don't branch out to the other sports. You don't want to branch out to the other sports.
No.
All right, I'm trying.
He likes this man, Justin Herbert.
He loves his Chargers. I will give him that. He's a very loyal Chargers fan. So
Charging somewhere.
There's not many of you.
Chargers, LeBron, Phoenix Suns, all of that. That's
LeBron is like a totally separate entity, I guess.
I don't root for the Lakers. I root for Bron.
Mm-hmm. So when the Phillies play the Dodgers, who are you rooting for?
The Dodgers.
So you're a loyal Dodgers fan now.
I'm not a loyal Dodgers fan. I pay
so what
attention.
if they start falling apart? Are you going to switch teams again?
If Ohtani leaves, I'll follow him.
So you're going to follow Ohtani. So you're a fan of the player.
Yeah, but at the collective, we just won the championship, so I have to.
What do you mean we? What do you mean we?
Ohtani, we, an interpreter, we.
They won the championship.
He did not win a championship.
No, they won the championship.
Oh.
We won a championship.
All right, but I'm glad to hear some baseball talk on this station every once in a while.
Yeah,
we're talking about baseball last week.
Did you?
No.
That's what I thought.
I was going to say,
I don't remember
that.
I was like,
we went football all the way to the end, and a lot of stuff going on.
Listen, I will say, from a lot of the students who are part of this station, you guys do love your football. I will give you that. You're very passionate football fans, and that's fair. It's fair. Nothing wrong with that. I love football too, so I have no room to talk.
But you already know. In the studio, when Monday comes back, so we'll use a lot of talk going on.
Yeah, it gets loud around here.
Very loud, yes.
Hopefully, Bo Nix has a better showing this week for Nick.
You're rooting for them.
Did you cut him?
No, I can't cut him yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's too early. It's only week 1. I'll give him a couple weeks.
It's too early to call.
Yeah, you can't make a trade in fantasy football either this early in the season. You can't.
No.
You can't.
He wants that trophy back. That's why.
It's way too early. Yeah, I'll get my trophy back.
I get your trophy back. Yes.
In 2 leagues. Hopefully 3 this year.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, right? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Good show, guys.
91.5 WDBK once again for the Sports Council, of course, behind the mic, Vincent Foch, along with
Corey Avery
and
Nick Earnshaw.
The finalize out the show. Have a good one, folks, and have a good weekend. Have a happy week 2.